Hello there, all to see our science, and right now we're going to learn about interactive science notebooks. So our essential question is, how does an ISN assist you in science? So from here on out, most of our presentations, if not all, are going to have an essential question. You will use this for Cornell or focus notes, so pay attention. So some important reminders. Your ISN is going to be collected at the minimum of every other week. And by collected, I mean we're going to ask to see it via a Google document. While we're distance learning, you'll be required to submit them about once a week. They'll be due Sunday night at midnight if they are required that week. I will put them in class assignments. I will let you know, don't worry. You'll be submitting the pictures via Google Classroom. If you're watching this before you get your ISN, that's fine. Just make sure that you're saving all of your items neatly so that when you do get your ISN, you can easily paste them in and they don't look all messy. Pretty much every piece of paper you're going to print out or use or anything like that, you're going to need to make sure you keep it nice. That About Me Erlenmeyer flask you're going to use today. So I hope you have it printed out and ready. If you don't, that's okay. I will let you know what to do. So our table of contents, we're going to go over what an ISN is, the important parts, our rules and procedures, and our grading guidelines. So your ISN is an interactive science notebook. Why do scientists use a notebook? There's many reasons. A lot of the time, especially scientists who are actually in the field right now, they're using their science notebooks as a way to collect data and to make sure their data is all in one place and easy to read for them. So here's an example. This is Charles Darwin's notebook. This was his notebook he used on the Galapagos Islands to come up with the theory of evolution. That's actually the evolutionary tree that you're seeing right there with the A, B, C, and D. So his was quite small. It was, his was smaller. And his handwriting, it's not the best. But he knew what he was saying, and that's what's important. This is Marie Curie's notebook. It's actually radioactive. People can't touch this notebook. It has to be stored specially because of the radioactivity on the notebook and what Marie Curie was doing with her notebook. She has a date. She has important facts and figures and data. Now, this data may look like a bunch of gibberish to you, and that's okay, but she and her colleagues knew what the data meant. So why are we doing this? Just like real scientists, we're going to use our notebooks during the school year, and we're going to record our research and our understandings in our notebook. We're going to take notes. Duh, right? We're going to keep the information you learned organized, so it's going to help you when it comes to studying. It's also going to be a good end of the year portfolio. And who knows, you one day may be a scientist who cures cancer, and people are going to look back at your science notebook from 7th grade and go, look at that. So there are some important parts of your ISN that are already there for you. There's information on how to graph and how to interpret graphs. There's information about our CERs, our claim, evidence, and reasoning. There's an annotation guide, and there's also a guide on how to take focus notes. Everything you'll be putting just about everything you do in your ISN. If it's not in your workbook or it's not a digitally submitted item, it's going to go into your ISN. So follow the rules and ace the ISN checks. Here are some of the rules. Right page. Make sure you're pasting it in the right page. If it says to go on page 10, put it on page 10. The pages are numbered for you. Don't tear. If I see a tear in your ISN, you're automatically going to get points taken off. You should never rip or tear your ISN. Now, if it tears on its own because it's banged up, that's a little different, but try to take care of your ISN, especially when we come back to face-to-face meetings. So protect it. Don't shove it in your bag. Don't throw it around. Don't spill anything on it. And only use it for science. Don't put anything else in there. Don't take random notes in the back of it for math class. It's for science only. And make sure you put a title on each page. On our digital ISN, there is going to be titles of what you should title it. So the right side versus the left side. Some teachers are a little bit more picky about what goes on the left side and what goes on the right side. Traditionally, in an interactive science notebook or an interactive notebook in general, your left side is going to be the creative side. Those pages are fun and colorful. Your right side is where you process and you take your notes. We're going to try to follow that guideline, but it's not always going to work out, especially if we have more activities than we do notes. But keep in mind that there traditionally are right versus left sides. The most important thing, though, is that I have a copy, a digital copy and a physical copy. It can be found in Google Classroom, in our virtual classroom, and it's updated daily to reflect what we've done in class. So I got you. If you're ever confused, I have you. I got your back. Email me, ask me questions. I'm here to help. So how are you going to be graded? And yes, I did make the girl cry because I got to grade some things. What I'm going to look for, accuracy. That's not, is the material done correctly? I am going to look for that, but it's also, are they on the right pages? Are they in the right order? You will get partial credit if the item is in your notebook, it's just on the wrong page. So say your Erlenmeyer flask. That's your About Me flask. It's supposed to go on page 3. But say you accidentally put it on page 5, and then you put what was on page 5 on page 3. You're still going to get credit. It's just not going to be full credit. But I'm still going to give you the credit for doing the assignment and trying to do your best. Is the item actually completed? Is the item done and not just taped into your ISN, and is it done correctly? So for the flask, did you just print it out and shove it in there and it's like just a blank page? Then you're not going to get full credit. And was it done on time? Did you submit your ISN via Google Classroom by the due date and time? And were your pictures clear and easy to see? I may ask you, if they're not clear and easy to see, to submit new pictures. I'm not going to count that as late if I ask you to submit new pictures, but it is going to count as a revision. So photo submissions, what am I looking for? As we discussed, digital learning, we're going to submit them via Google Classroom for a grade. The pictures need to be clear and show not just the item, but the page number. Be prepared for me to ask you for those more detailed pictures. What I recommend you doing, go up high and take a picture of the full page, and then go in and get some close-ups and just save the close-ups, or just go ahead and submit them. The more you submit, the better, and the less likely I am to ask you to redo it. So now we're going to set up your ISN, and this is going to be an activity. Once pages 3 and 5 are complete, which means you've cut out your About Me Erlenmeyer flask and pasted it on page 3, you used our class rules that you learned through our policy and procedure video, and you wrote out the science class rules and made it look pretty on page 4. That's what you should do on page 4. And the ISN guidelines on page 5. Write down some notes from this lesson onto page 5. And it can be like 5 rules for ISNs, and write out your rules. So 3, 4, and 5 you're going to do right now. Page 3, you're going to cut out your Erlenmeyer flask and you're going to paste it on page 3. It should already be done. Page 4, you're going to take that We Are Science and you're going to copy it and put it on page 4 and make it look pretty. On page 5, you're going to take notes from this lesson that we just did and you're going to write out guidelines in your ISN. Page 6, you're going to start with your annotating notes, but we're not going to get to that yet. So I'm only going to grade pages 3 through 5. You're going to take pictures. You're going to go to the Google assignment. You're going to open up the document and paste your pictures into the document. Then you're going to submit the document. This is going to be due Friday night. So you may be doing this lesson on Tuesday or Thursday, or you may be doing it on Wednesday and Friday. It is due Friday night for all classes. Friday night. If it's not due by then, it is late. Really, it's 3 pictures. It's 3 pictures. Your About Me, your class policy page, and your ISN guidelines. Super easy. If you have any questions, you can be doing it right now. Hopefully that's what you're doing now. You're watching this video. I'm hanging out on Zoom, probably waving, trying to get your attention for something. You should be doing this right now. Pasting, really quick. You can either glue it or tape it. It's completely up to you. As always, email me if you have any questions. There's my email, SamanthaWilson@Clovis. That Clovis is spelled wrong. I'm sorry. That's not how you spell Clovis. Y'all know how to spell Clovis. clovisusd.k12.ca.us. All right, you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.